Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell
Okay, well, how well do you know your spouse's personality? Good question. Understanding it could help crack the code in why you and your loved one click well or not so well. In this edition of Marriage 101, Starr Calo-oy returns with some advice, some important information too.
Oh yeah. Well, last week we were talking about understanding our differences. Well, this takes it a step further in understanding our personalities and why it is important to know what our differences are.
And why is it important to know our differences?
Well, because once you find out what rubs your loved one the wrong way, you can figure out why you're hitting over and over, so that you can begin to blend and appreciate and dig for gold like a gold mine, instead of it repelling you and making you angry and
probably resentful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, resentful. And so, okay, so you've got some examples here.
Yes,
you describe these personalities and equate them to certain animals.
That's right. That's right.
Tell us why. Tell us why.
Okay, well, this is what has been in our research and different books that we've read. And you know, we've heard it said the choleric and the sanguine, the melancholy and phlegmatic. Those are 4 temperaments. Well, they've connoted it to, Gary Smalley and Dennis Rainey have connoted it to the lion, the otter, the golden retriever, and the beaver.
Okay. All right, so let's go over these.
Well, we know the lion, right?
Right.
Roar.
King of the jungle. The lion is the king of the jungle. So describe to us the lion.
Well, I'll tell you what. We've got the lion. Now, let's talk about it before and after marriage, Eileen, okay? First of all, before you get married, your fiancé perceives you as decisive. After you get married, you're thought of as impatient. Independent before marriage, self-sufficient after. In other words, it's a positive and then a negative, because we begin to see friction. So that's something very important. First, these things attract us, and then what happens is it causes friction after marriage.
So before marriage, your fiance will say, wow, she's decisive, independent, efficient, competitive, determined. But once once they get married, then he finds out, whoa, she's impatient,
never slows down and attacks first instead of competitive, stubborn instead of determined. Now that's the lion. Then we go on to the otter, and with the otter, what we're going to see is that first of all, they're enthusiastic. Oh, I'm so attracted to my mate because they're enthusiastic. But then after we get married, oh, they're just too excitable. Okay, and first of all, they're talkative, and then they're thought of as that they talk too much. Optimistic before they get married, and they're attracted to that optimism. And then after they get married, oh, she walks around with her head in a bubble all the time. Got it. Got it. And then outgoing at first, and then disorganized and personable, and then undisciplined.
Undisciplined, okay.
That's the otter. And otters play. Yes. They're playful. They like to have fun. There's nothing more fun than watching them at the zoo, right? Then we go on to the golden retriever. Okay, before marriage, a golden retriever is thought of as steadfast. But then after, oh, resistant to change. Oh, they're just stuck right there in a rut, and they're not going to change. Okay, first they're thought of as stable, and now after they get married, indecisive. They just can't make a decision on anything. First, they're thought of as systematic. You know, do everything in order, but then slow, easygoing, are unwilling to initiate, agreeable are over accommodating.
Wow, wow. So these are the things that we see in our spouse, in our mate after marriage. Okay, now let's go with the beaver.
Okay, beaver. What we've got there is first they're thought of, oh, he's just so analytical. And then after you get married, oh, he's so critical. First, oh, he's just so serious. And then, oh, he's just unsociable. He doesn't want to go anywhere or do anything or see anybody. He doesn't get along with anyone. And then before, conscientious, and then worries too much. Worries about everything. First, intuitive, but then, and intuitive is awesome. It's great to be with somebody intuitive. That's very attractive.
They find
but then
out.
after they get married, oh, you're just too sensitive to everything. And then lastly, industrious. And then after they get married, oh, you're a perfectionist. So, so the main thing, I guess, that we'd want to look at with all this, Eileen, is that we've got to realize that there's 2 sides of every coin. And for every positive trait that we have, of course, there's going to be, if they go off the deep end, there's going to be a little negative But if we concentrate on the positive things that they're able to do, I mean, Bob, for example, you know, he's strong and he's a lion, definitely. I'm an otter. I like to play. Everything's a party waiting to happen. I like to have fun, have everybody get along with each other, and he keeps me in line.
Right, and you were telling me before the break, because I asked you which animal do you think you are, and you said you think you're an otter, and you think that Bob is
predominantly a lion, but everyone's a blend.
And then you guys switch off sometimes.
Right,
which is why
we're both one flesh for so many years we've been together that we end up blending into one another, which is what we want to do. We want to see that happen. Now, we teach all this in our marriage classes, and we're getting ready to teach personality this coming Thursday. So we hope that people would want to join us. Free classes.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I know that your classes had just taken place, and so they're running up until October 1st. And once you sign up, boy, will you get a wealth of information. Marriage 101 classes. Join this class any